Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. It's an honor and a privilege to have you guys joining me here today as we're talking about our favorite things in the world, movies, a little bit of television. We're just a bunch of friends standing around a virtual water cooler talking openly about anything we want to talk about. No spoilers, please. Now, every day on the John Campea Show, we save a little bit of time for some live questions, but here on Open Mic, it's just all open questions, and that's what we're going to do today. It's a movie-related radio call-in talk show, just talking about entertainment. All right, so I'm going to mention to you, so last night, Anne and Ray and I, we were out having dinner, and we just started talking about Avengers Infinity War. I had already seen it twice, Anne had already seen it twice, and Ray had seen it once. And we're talking about and we just go, do we want to go again tonight? And we go, yeah, let's go tonight. So I opened my phone. The earliest tickets I could find was 11:30 p.m. last night. Call our buddy Brian. Say, hey, we'll get a fourth ticket. You come out too. So Ryan drove out to join us, and we went to go watch it again. Anne saw it twice yesterday. She saw it in the morning at a special Hasbro screening, and then she watched it again last night. So she's seen it 3 times now. Last night was my 3rd time seeing it. And got home at like 2:30 in the morning. So I'm a little bit tired, but it was totally worth it. Totally worth it at the same time. So don't forget, guys, tomorrow at 2 p.m., we have and that's Pacific Standard Time, Los Angeles time. We're going to have our wide open 2-hour all Avengers Infinity War spoiler discussion. It's going to be grand and fun, and I cannot wait for you guys to join me for that. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into it, and we're going to go to the first question today. And the first question today comes to us from Andrew Oldham, who writes, at 2 hours and 45 minutes, don't drink anything before Infinity War. Your bladder will thank you. Well, it's not quite that long, but it's long. It's a long movie. And I would recommend, if you want to get your soda, that's fine. But don't drink much for like the 2 hours previous to the movie starting, because it is a long movie. And seriously, this movie is so packed. You know, one of my criticisms is that it's maybe a little bit overpacked, but it's so packed, you honestly don't want to miss anything to do a bathroom run. So my recommendation is try not to drink 90 minutes to 2 hours before the movie starts. Once the movie theater's 2 trailers in, run to the bathroom. Force yourself to go a little bit if you have to. Then come back. And then you should be fine to start sipping on your soda and whatever. You should be able to hold out for a couple hours after that. But yeah, do plan accordingly, because it's a long-ass movie. It's a really long-ass movie. All right, let's move on here. Ben Rayner writes, OMG, Infinity War ending, OMG. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen that all over the place about Infinity War and its ending and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite an ending. It is quite an ending. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, of course, for those of you who haven't seen it yet. Let's see. I can't think of a good username. Says someone was spamming your chat board with Infinity War spoilers yesterday. And water is wet. Look, we know that there are pathetic loser trolls out there that are going to do pathetic loser things. We know that's going to happen, especially in a live chat board where it can't be moderated. I certainly can't moderate it because I am trying to operate camera, graphics, look at the camera, think of my answers, reading questions. I can't also do this. That's where the chat board, the actual live chat board is. I can't do that and read it and keep an eye on it. I just can't do it. So, it is part of the reality. We've warned everybody that live chat is going to be a perilous place to be. Best thing to do is to look away from the live chat unless you've seen the movie already, but there's nothing you can do to stop it. And even if I ban somebody, they're just going to create a new user account on YouTube and come in. And it's happening on every live YouTube show, even on sports, woodworking, gardening, home improvement shows. People are going in and dropping Infinity War spoilers. So, you know it's going to happen. There's really not much that can be done about it, especially if you're in a live chat. And there's certainly not much I can do about it. But yes, I was aware afterwards. But it should come as no surprise to anybody. Maybe One Name writes, I've never been able to not even, but after Infinity War, man, I can't even. I love the way you wrote that. Let me read that again. I've never been able to not even, but after Infinity War, man, I can't even. It's quite an experience, Infinity War. Mason Barr writes, it's my birthday today, 28 on the 28th, and Jessica Alba as well, my celebrity crush. That's a fine celebrity crush, Jessica Alba. She's really nice. I've met her a couple times. She's a nice lady. And, of course, Mason, happy birthday to you. I hope you get to see Infinity War on your birthday. Oh, no, you've already seen it. That's right. I remember you were talking about seeing it in the Prime in the front row. So happy birthday to you, Mason. I hope you have a good one. Let's see. Hector Jetter writes, going for the third time tonight. Wow, Gio, just wow. Yeah, I saw it for my third time last night. You know what? I liked it a little bit more the second time around. Although I will say, my criticisms about the film didn't change. I still felt the second time around, you can feel the weight of them having a little bit too many characters in the film. And also, there's a little bit too much going on. But overall, it's a great film. It's a great film, and I'm more than happy for it. It exceeded my expectations. I found my third time I didn't enjoy it more. I think my second time I got to where my enjoyment level for Infinity War is going to be. So it didn't change on the third screening. I'll see if it changes for my fourth or fifth. I doubt it, though. I've got a feeling I know exactly where it ranks for me. But it's an experience of a movie. It is an absolute experience of a movie. Dimsum05 writes, while I agree that there was limited screen time for certain heroes in Infinity War, the characters are there to serve the story, which was Thanos. No. To properly serve a story, you need characters. And you need characters surrounding the main story. Thanos is not the story. Thanos is the main character of the film. Like, we've known that forever. The Russo brothers told us that a long time ago. And he certainly is. But then what they should have done was had fewer characters. Again, it doesn't change the fact for me that it's a great movie. I had a great time watching. I've seen it 3 times already. I'm going to see it a few more. It's a great movie. I love it. But that doesn't change. You know, just like with The Last Jedi for me, no matter how much I like The Last Jedi, for me, the Canto Bight stuff was a waste. They didn't use Rose or Finn properly. Like, I'll still have those criticisms of it, but overall, I love the movie. With Infinity War, I love the movie, but yeah, no, that's not an excuse. Well, every other single character in the movie wasn't the main character, so it doesn't matter that nothing goes on with them. I disagree with you on that. I disagree. Because you could feel it in the movie. To me, you could really feel it. And I think if you had better, character development and better character involvement in the film, it would have added more to the main story. But, I mean, that's a more in-depth thing for another time. Adamus95 writes, hi, John. I have a concern for Jurassic World 2 plot wise, which is Site B as far as I'm aware. It's still canon, especially when they state Blue is the last raptor, but Site B is full of them. Will they address Site B? I'll be honest with you. I'm not well-versed enough in Jurassic Park canon to even be able to answer that. The answer is I don't know. I don't know. Until you mentioned Site B, it's like, I just took him, yeah, there's a Site B. I forgot about that. And I can't even remember where that ended or what it was about. So I have no answer for that. I have no answer for it, unfortunately. Sorry about that, man. I just can't remember my Jurassic Park canon well enough to remember anything about that. Let's see. Dimsum05 writes, would your opinion / ranking change if the movie was renamed Thanos Quest? Guys, if you know my opinion, movie titles are useless and pointless. No, the title of a film is a completely inconsequential item to a movie. A title can be cool and title can be dumb, but it makes no impact whatsoever on the movie. None. It makes zero impact on the movie. The title is a pointless piece of trivia. The only point of a title is to try to get your attention as a marketing tool, and then to know which movie you're talking about when you're talking about the movie yesterday. Which movie you're talking about? We're talking about Captain America: Civil War. Therein lies the end of the usefulness of a title. It's a great tool for marketing, but as far as going towards how you feel about a movie or the quality of the movie, it's a total throwaway piece of non-important information, ultimately. So, fair question, but no, not at all. You could have called the movie Oogie Poogie Eat Some Pies. There it is. Marvel's Oogie Poogie Eat Some Pies. That could have been the name of the movie. It doesn't change how I feel about the movie one little bit, positively or negatively. I'll say it's a stupid title. What the hell was with the title? But as far as how it affects my overall enjoyment or lack thereof of a particular movie, absolutely zero impact whatsoever. It's a marketing tool. That's like saying, would you have liked the movie better if the trailer was a better trailer? No, because the trailer is marketing. That has nothing to do with it. So you see what I'm saying, Dimsum? So, no, to me, it would have made no difference. Thanos Quest would have been a fine title. Avengers Thanos. Avengers The End. Avengers Infinity War. There's lots of good titles they could have had, but really, ultimately, it doesn't change one iota my perception of the film itself. And I don't think it probably would have changed yours either. But who knows? Who knows? Different people look at things differently. Dark Knight 46K writes, Mr. Campea, I've seen Infinity War twice now, and I still haven't fully recovered. Let's take a minute and fully appreciate the Russo brothers, MCU legends. The Russo brothers have done a very good job, man. They've done a very good job. Now, of course, they are building on the shoulders of all the groundwork that was laid before them. A friend of mine asked me the other day, hey, John, now that you've seen it, this is right after the premiere. Now that you've seen Infinity War, more important to the MCU, Joss Whedon or the Russo brothers? To me, it's still no question Joss Whedon. Because without what Joss Whedon was able to do with that first Avengers film, to really show what a team-up movie can do and can be, that he was able to take that many characters. Compared to Infinity War, it's not a ton of characters, but compared to most movies, it's a ton of lead characters. What he was able to do to take a ton of lead characters, give them all sufficient screen time, character development, depth, all of that kind of stuff, still tell a compelling and fun and entertaining story, and setting the precedent for what superhero movies can be and what they can do, especially these big team-up movies. Were it not for what Joss Whedon was able to do and the Herculean accomplishment that he gave us with that, and going into Age of Ultron as well, then there is no Russo brothers. What I mean by that is in context of the MCU. The Russo brothers, what they have masterfully done is come in and now stepped on the shoulders of what Joss Whedon laid down. Just as once the Russo brothers are gone and not on the MCU anymore, then the next set of directors will come in and stand on their shoulders as well. But it's all predicated on what Joss Whedon did. And then when you go beyond that, look at what Jon Favreau did with the first Iron Man movie. Convincing everybody this Marvel Cinematic Universe thing, this can work. And so you go back to Jon Favreau. So you got Jon Favreau laying the groundwork. Then Joss Whedon standing on his shoulders and really giving the broader scope of what the MCU can be. And it's on that foundation that the Russo brothers came in and built. And they've done a great job. They've done more than a great job. They've done a spectacular job. So I'm just saying, yes, the Russo brothers deserve all the props that we can give them. But let's not lose focus that they're just building on what other people laid the groundwork for which for instance, if it were not for Avengers Infinity War couldn't happen. It would be pointless and meaningless and all dust. I mean, it just really wouldn't mean anything. So we always got to keep that in mind as well. And then when the next guys come along and do something spectacular, let's not forget what the Russo brothers did. Let's not forget the foundation and how the Russo brothers contributed to the foundation to pave the way for whoever and whatever comes next after them. So, it was Jon Favreau was kind of the main lead guiding voice for the MCU to start off. Joss Whedon became the main guiding kind of voice for the MCU, steering them to becoming the most dominant, movie property in the business. Now the Russo brothers are kind of steering the ship, all under the tutelage of Kevin Feige, obviously, all of them. And now somebody else is going to come after the Russo brothers. Let's never forget the important roles that those other directors all laying the foundation for did. Let's see. Next one up. Hector Jetter writes, I'm debating on driving from Vegas to Burbank just to check out the theater you rave about one day. I want to view that John Campea experience. Yeah, but there's an AMC theater in Las Vegas. And maybe I'm mistaken. Not every AMC theater has an AMC Prime with Dolby. But I think the AMC Theater in Vegas does have an AMC Prime with Dolby in it. I could be wrong about that. But double check your listings, because I've never been in it if it is there, but I think they do have one there, and I can't imagine it would be very different. Like, they'll still have the leather plush motorized reclining seats. They'll have the Dolby Atmos sound. They'll have the Dolby dual laser projection system. They should have all of that. So if you really want to get the experience that I've been having at my local AMC Burbank 16, double check. And don't just double check to see if it's an AMC Prime. See if it's an AMC, see if it's a Dolby Cinema at AMC Prime. Like I said, I do believe they have one, so you may not have to make the drive to get that experience. Okay, let's see here. Number Thor writes, will we get a Bad Santa 3? Your thoughts? Bad Santa 3? Hold on a second. Let me look up Bad Santa. I do not believe the second one did anything at the box office. I don't think anybody wanted to go see it, to be honest. But I could be, yeah. Bad Santa 2 made $17 million worldwide. Let me repeat that. Bad Santa 2 made $17 million worldwide. Not $17 million opening weekend, not $17 million, in its opening week, $17 million total on a budget of $26 million. Take into account the $5 million that the theaters kept. So that's $12 million that they made. The budget was $26 million. They probably spent around $15 million on marketing that film. That movie lost so much money. No chance in hell unless it's some straight to DVD kind of thing without Billy Bob Thornton and without anybody else. So no, we're not going to get a Bad Santa 3. Any executive that greenlit it would probably be fired right away. The Number Thor writes, thoughts on the movie Broken City? You asked me that exact same question actually last week. It's the movie with Russell Crowe as the corrupt mayor, Mark Wahlberg as the cop. It's all right. It's an all right movie. But again, we've already talked about that. Karthik Rao writes, saw Infinity War twice and loved it. Definitely in my top 3 MCU movies. And watching it with 700 cheering fans in the theater was an amazing experience. You know, Karthik, it's been... We've talked about this a little bit over the last couple of days, but Avengers Infinity War is another great example of why nothing will ever top or come close to the movie theater going experience. Nothing will ever top it or come close. And you just kind of nailed it, because there's nothing like sitting in a movie theater with 700 people and that thing happens. And then being in that theater with the reaction of everybody, and then that next thing happens, and then that other thing that happens, that happens with the guy and the other guy, and everybody freaks out. It's those things. And, Avengers Infinity War is just kind of a great example of that. That's why I love going to the movies. Way more than watching movies at home. Don't get me wrong, I dig laying back on my couch. I've got a nice home theater system, popping up something and watching. I enjoy that, sure. But nothing touches the movie-going experience. Getting your bag of popcorn and soda, being in a room with 200 people, 400 people, 700 people, sharing the oohs and ahs and excitement and screeching and laughing and scares and jumps and whatever. It's just, nothing tops it. And without that, something about the movies loses some of its magic. There's just some of the magic of the movies that gets lost when, instead of in that theater with 200, 300, 400 people, 15 other people, whatever, when you lose that and you're just sitting at home in your living room. Not that there aren't advantages to sitting at home in your living room. There are, but nothing will ever come close. I love going to the movies. I love it. To me, it's an event. It's a day that I know I'm going to the movies later tonight is a good day for me. I love going to the movies. And it's that reason why there are a lot that when a big movie comes out that I'm really excited about, and even if it's a small movie that I'm really excited about, yeah, I'll go see the press screenings, but I'll still buy my tickets for opening day as soon as I can, because I want that experience. Yeah, I'll go and watch it with a bunch of other film journalists. Yes, that's great. I love it. That's wonderful. But to be able to go to the AMC Prime or to another theater, an ArcLight Hollywood or some other theater near you, and sit down with 400 other people and share that experience, nothing tops it. Nothing tops it. And I don't know what the future of... That's why I get so worked up on it. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but that's why I get so worked up when we talk about the health of the movie theater industry and the overall movie industry. And why I get so frustrated when I see the studio system and the movie theater system doing things counterproductive to what's going to bring people back to the movie theaters. I get upset about it, not because it's my money on the line, but because it's my favorite experience, the movies. It's the experience that when I have kids, I want them to be able I want to be able to pass down that experience to them and share my love of it with them. And the way things are going 15 years from now, if they don't get their heads out of their asses, 15 years from now, there may not be a movie-going experience like that. And that's the best part about the movies to me. Anyway, I've gone on about that long enough. Sorry about the tangent, guys. AFC writes, post-Infinity War, I can confirm Thanos is stronger than Dominic Toretto. But that's only because, look, I shouldn't tell you guys this, but behind the scenes, Universal and Disney have been working out a deal. And this is a big scoop. I'm breaking a huge scoop for you right here. Avengers 4 is going to be shared universe with Fast and Furious, and Dominic Toretto, ultimately, I don't know how they do it yet, but he sets everything up. He's the new setup thing, right? He's the setup for everything. He's going to take on the new big bad guy in Avengers 4. That's who it's going to be. They couldn't get him in time for Avengers 3. They tried to get the deal all signed so he could take on Thanos. But it's going to be Dom and the big villain in Avengers 4. You guys heard it here first. Mark it on your calendar. Let's see. By the way, guys, everything I just said was nonsense. So if you think I just gave anything away about the upcoming movie or about Avengers 3, don't worry, I didn't. AFC writes, post-Infinity War, I can... Oh, that's already read that one. Starman writes, best director, Russo's or Whedon. Russo's, in my opinion. Again, I already talked about that. I mean, it really all depends. First of all, I've seen Joss Whedon direct other stuff that's great. And I love the Russo brothers. You guys know that they've been very, very kind with their time with me. They've come into my studio in 2 different studios that I've had on a couple of different occasions and done, Q&As with me and all that kind of stuff. I love the Russo brothers. However, all we've seen the Russo brothers do is the MCU, and all the stuff they've done in the MCU has been building upon the foundations and the shoulders of what Joss Whedon created and what Joss Whedon laid the foundation for. When the Russo brothers, if you just want to talk in generic terms, better directors, when the Russo brothers do their own Serenity, when the Russo brothers do their own Much Ado About Nothing, when the Russo brothers step outside, because Serenity to me is like maybe the most underappreciated sci-fi movie I've ever seen. Serenity is brilliant as a movie. I mean, it's just utterly fantastic. When they start doing that, when they step outside of the MCU, then let's start having those discussions. Until that happens, I'm not ready to say that they're anywhere near as good of a director as Joss Whedon yet. But damn, what they're doing with the MCU is pretty freaking impressive. Pretty damn impressive. And I'm excited to see what they do next. But I'm not going to jump the gun. I tend not to have a what have you done for me lately mentality. I don't think about who's the newest thing to do something. They're the best thing ever now. I don't kind of adopt that mentality. They have done fabulous work in the MCU. I really want to see what they do outside of the MCU. And, when they're not building on the foundation that another director already laid. Let's see what happens then. I have high hopes. I think they're going to do great, but we'll have to wait and see. We have no precedent yet to really know that by. Let's see here. Sebastian Trulio writes, hey, John, I watched Black Panther, but my wife did not. Now that you watch Infinity War, do you recommend she has to watch Black Panther to enjoy and understand Infinity War? No, not at all. Will it increase her appreciation for Infinity War? Yes. If she watches Black Panther, it will increase her appreciation for it and understand a few more of the nuances of what's going on in Wakanda. That's not a spoiler, guys. That was all. You can see that they're in Wakanda in the trailer. You will appreciate it more, but is it absolutely necessary? Nah, No, it's not absolutely necessary. Valuable? Yes. Necessary? I'll go out on a limb and say no. But she should watch Black Panther just because Black Panther is an awesome movie. I would say that. Forget the importance or lack of importance that it has to Infinity War. She should watch Black Panther just because Black Panther's awesome and she's really going to love it. Okay. Let's see. Sisal1304 writes, hi again, John. Saving my super chat question for after your Infinity War spoiler review. Shut up and take my support money. Thank you so much, Sisal. And yes, everybody, if you're just joining us, don't forget tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is our 2-hour-long Avengers Infinity War, totally open, spoiler-filled discussion where we can just talk openly about Avengers Infinity War. We hope you guys will come and join us for that. And we're planning on Anne doing it with me, which should be a lot of fun because Anne's seen it 3 times already. Let's see. The number Thor writes, in your opinion, who are the better directing siblings, the Russos or the Wachowskis or the Coens? Oh, well, I mean, before you threw in the Coens, to me, that was easy. That was the Russos. The Russos have done multiple films that have been fabulous. The Wachowskis, to me, have not. You know, the Wachowskis, to me, have given me one film that is truly fabulous. And that was the original Matrix, obviously. You know, the funny thing is, I actually like Matrix 2 more than most people do. I like Matrix 2. Nowhere near as much as Matrix 1, but I appreciate the second Matrix movie more than most people do. I quite enjoy the second Matrix movie. The third one is a total train wreck, whatever. But then, you know, a lot of people will say, well, John, what about V for Vendetta? Right? I thought you really liked V for Vendetta. I do like V for Vendetta. Oh my gosh, that movie's like 13 years old. I cannot believe that. But anyway, a lot of people forget the Wachowski brothers. There's this impression out there that the Wachowskis directed V for Vendetta. They didn't. So there's that. So I would say that. But the Coen brothers, I don't know. Here's the thing. The thing about the Coen brothers is, I don't know, man. The thing is, their movies are so different than what we've seen from what we've seen out of the Russo brothers at this point. Like, their movies are so radically different. Now, Hail Caesar was a complete waste. That was terrible. But Inside Llewyn Davis, True Grit. I like Burn After Reading. Not a lot of people did. I also love The Lady Killers. Not a lot of people. I don't know why. A lot of people didn't like The Lady Killers with Tom Hanks, but I absolutely love that. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The Big Lebowski, Fargo. I mean, it's tough to compare because the Coen brothers make such different movies from the Russo brothers. But you know what? I'm going to go back to that other thing we said. What's our precedent? Right now, the Russo brothers have done MCU movies. The Coen brothers have done Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Intolerable Cruelty, The Lady Killers, Big Lebowski, The Hudsucker Proxy, Barton Fink, Fargo, Burn After Reading, True Grit, Inside Llewyn. I mean, so I'm going to go with the Coens right now. For now, let's see what happens. And again, like our other discussion, let's see what's going to happen 10 years from now once the Russo brothers have directed other things other than just MCU movies and see what they're able to show us. For right now, it's difficult to compare them, but for now, I'll go Coen brothers. For now. Let's see. Noak just sent in a super chat, but retracted it. Alia Abdel Gawad writes, cinema score for Infinity War is an A. Yes. Question. Any thoughts of when the title for Avengers 4 will be released? Thinking this fall. Hoping for earlier. Not sure. It depends on what kind of title it is. And really, the bottom line is I don't care because the title's the title. It's just a marketing tool. So I really don't give 2 squirts of piss over what the title is. But it depends on what philosophy they take with their title. Is their title just a name, in which it could come out in fall? Is the title something that really gives away something about the movie? If that's the case, they may hold off until, well, you can't wait until after Captain Marvel because Avengers 4 comes out like 2 months after Captain Marvel. So they can't wait till after Captain Marvel. They may wait till after Ant-Man, which puts us into fall. Yeah, I'll go October. Wild guess. I'm going to go October. Disney and the MCU will release the title for Avengers 4 in October. That's my best guess right now. Number Thor writes, what will make more at the box office, Venom or Aquaman? Ooh, that's a decent question. I mean, ultimately, it all depends on how good the movies are. And right now, we have no idea if Aquaman's going to be any good. We have no idea if Venom's going to be good. The buzz for the footage that they showed at CinemaCon for Aquaman was very good. Again, the audience I saw this movie with last night, that I saw Infinity War with last night, when the Venom trailer played, people lost their minds. Who knew? So both have some positive momentum going. Man, I'll go Venom. But again, it really depends on how the movies are received. Because, you got James Wan directing Aquaman. If that movie turns out as good as it can, then you could see Aquaman do pretty well. Aquaman's not going to make $800 million worldwide. It's just not. But if it can make like $500 million, $600 million, I think you call that a win. And I think Venom is going to struggle a little bit to get to $600 million. It's an interesting character they're doing it with. Let's see how that turns out. But just for now, my flat, totally blind guess is going to be Venom. Okay, Robert Ortiz writes, if Mike Myers decides to make Austin Powers 4, which I doubt, it's going to be hard to top Goldmember intro with Spielberg and Cruise. I don't know. They could do some pretty wild things. I wouldn't say it would be hard to top. I'd say it'd be tricky. To start with Kevin Spacey, I know it's odd to talk about Kevin Spacey now. Yes, I get it. But that one opening they did with Kevin Spacey was pretty spectacular. Yeah, man, I hope they do an Austin Powers 4. I would love for them to do an Austin Powers 4. I really would. Anything to get Mike Myers back into the comedy scene would be great with me. But Austin Powers 4 would totally work for me. Holy Jeebas writes, I couldn't believe my eyes at what I was seeing on screen on Friday. Dictator Kim and President Moon embracing, of course, the North and South Korean situation going on right now. Embracing. Going to watch Avengers tonight with my girlfriend, but I wanted to hear your thoughts on this historical occasion. Well, look, is it a good thing? Yes. But how many times have we seen peace accords in the Middle East signed? How many times have we seen handshakes made? I'm not going to get too excited about it as far as the global geopolitical stage goes. I'm not going to get terribly excited about it. Is it a step in the right direction? Yes. Will anything actually come of it? I don't know. When we start seeing things actually come of it, then I'll get excited. But hey, absolutely it's a step in the right direction. But again, it's easy to shake a hand. It's easy to say some nice things. Let's see if anything actually comes out of it before we get too terribly excited about it. But certainly a step in the right direction. And we just had the big jump. So give me a second, guys. Okay, here we go. Sebastian Lerter writes, going to see Infinity War today. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. I hope you were able to stay spoiler-free and you're seeing it just in time to come back for our spoiler review tomorrow. Tom Growcut writes, I love the Star Wars prequels. Made you say it. Very funny. Now someone's just going to take that little clip of me saying, I love the Star Wars prequels and put it on a loop. Antoine writes, Iron Spider all over the place. Yeah, don't even get me going on the Iron Spider, man. Don't even get me going on that. Preston Walden writes, Movie Pass, no card over a month. Already charged me. Customer service won't get back to me. Done before I even began with them. I'm good with Cinemia. Yeah, that is one of the other things. And you know what's funny? When I first signed up, long before they made their price drop to $10, this is going back a couple years ago, I got Movie Pass when it first became available in Los Angeles. I think I was paying like $35 a month for it. And I remember I had a problem one day, and I reached out to customer support, and I got someone on the phone, and they fixed my problem. It was great. Ever since they moved to this $10 a month thing, I've heard nothing but nightmare stories from people about trying to even get a hold of customer support. You know, that they just won't even respond to their emails, let alone getting a real person on the phone. Now, to be fair, I haven't had the need to get in touch with Cinemia's customer support yet. I just haven't had the need to do it yet. So for all I know, Cinemia's customer support might be just as bad or worse. Or maybe it's great. Or maybe the fact that I haven't had to call customer support tells you something about them. But I don't know. But yeah, the one common phrase I keep hearing about MoviePass from people who use it is that people who've ever needed to get a hold of customer service, it becomes a nightmare. An absolute nightmare for them. Now, do me a favor, guys. If you've had a positive experience with MoviePass's customer service, like I said, I had one, but it was years ago. Drop me an email. Drop me an email and let me know what you guys think. All right, Sebastian Lerda writes, "Don't hate me. Didn't like Black Panther at all. Their go like over the edge tech was way too much in my opinion." Well, hey, look, that's the thing. It's all film subjective, man. No hate for you, and don't feel like you need to apologize for it. If a movie didn't work for you, then it didn't work for you. I mean, that's no matter how good a movie is, there are going to be people who legitimately don't like it. No matter how bad a movie is, there are going to be people out there that it legitimately works for. It's not a reflection on you. It's just a reflection of the true nature that all film is subjective. It'll hit each of us in a different way. And if it didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. Now, you and I can debate about whether or not we felt the technology was over the edge or not, or over the top or not. We can debate that and discuss that. That's a fun thing. But at the end of the day, that's just how it hit you. And that's just how it hit me. So don't apologize for it. Like, I disagree with you. I didn't think they went too over the top with the technology. I loved Black Panther. However, you didn't. Okay. That sucks. I wish you enjoyed it, but you didn't, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that, man. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Antoine writes, was definitely a movie to see with an audience. Infinity War, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Look, if you're somebody, I feel very safe saying this. Anybody who watches Infinity War for the first time at home will never truly understand or never really get the true experience of watching that movie with an audience. There is an element you are going to be missing out of it that can only be there while watching it with a big audience. Like I said earlier in the show, there's just an element of magic that you lose when you just watch a movie at home for the first time. I don't think there's anybody that can watch Infinity War for the first time at home that will ever have as impactful an experience than if they had watched it in the movie theater. But then again, that's just my opinion. Okay, let's move on. KW Garrett writes, I'm an old timer who actually worked at Blockbuster. Wow, that's awesome, man. I got 3 free rentals a week, which was awesome. What's the favorite fringe benefit of any job you've ever had? Oh, the favorite fringe benefit. I will say this. Doing what I do, like once I got the movie, well, first of all, I used to work at Harvey's, which to me, I don't believe there are any Harvey's fast food restaurants in the United States. It's a big chain in Canada. They do make the best fast food burgers. Notice I'm qualifying that, fast food burgers. They make the best fast food burgers that I've ever had. When I was in high school, I worked there at a Harvey's restaurant in Hamilton, Ontario, up on Rymel Road. And it was on Rymel or Stone Church. I can't remember. Anyway. And one of the best fringe benefits of it was that I got to eat for free. Because I really like that food. Other than that, one of my favorite fringe benefits was once I got the movie blog going, kind of going back to your industry with Blockbuster, I was living at the Campea Ranch. I had moved back from Saskatoon, and now I was going back to school again and working on the movie blog. And so I moved back to the Campea Ranch. And up the road a little bit, about 2 miles up the road from the Campea Ranch, there was this little video rental store. It wasn't part of a chain. It was just a little video rental store. And I went in there one time, and I just talked to the manager finally one day and said, hey, I run this movie website. I get like 500,000 readers a month. Would you be willing to give me like a free rental a week or something if when I'm reviewing or talking about a certain movie, I just name drop your place once in a while? And she goes, oh, I'll tell you what, just mention this once in a while and just come in and take whatever you want. And so for a period of time there, I was able to stop in at this video store and just like, as long as they had it in, and as long as it wasn't something that was brand new and may fly off the shelf, they just let me rent as much as I want and take as much as I want and never charge me. To me, best fringe benefit I ever had of doing that stuff. That was great. I mean, look, I'm glad the days of digital streaming are here. I am. But I do miss that experience, being with the girl you're on a date with or your buddies or whatever and going, hey, we're going to hang in, we're going to order some food, let's run over to Blockbuster or in Canada, Rogers Video or whatever. Let's go and grab a film. And you're walking around, the inevitable thing of walking around the video store trying to pick out your movie in the big giant process. As a matter of fact, one of the most popular posts, like written article posts that I ever did on the movie blog, it was just one that I thought of one day and I just wrote it up. And it honestly became maybe the most popular article that I ever wrote, was how to pick out a movie. Because for those of you who are like 15 or younger, you won't appreciate this. But hold on a second, let me see if I can find it. How to pick a movie. I'm just gonna see if this thing comes up. I'm not seeing it come up on Go, so I'd have to dig it up and see if I can find a link. But basically, those of you who are under 15 probably won't get this. But it used to be a big conundrum going to the video store with your girlfriend or your significant other or whatever and going through the hassle of trying to pick out a movie. I'm sure many relationships have ended over couples being in this process of walking up and down the aisles of Blockbuster or whatever your local video store was, trying to pick out a movie between the two of you. So I wrote this article once that was basic. I can't remember the exact title of it, but it was how to pick out a movie with your girlfriend. And it wasn't a very long article. It was like 2 pages long, but the basic gist of it was this. I said, you'll be in and out of the video store so fast and you will have total relationship bliss. Here's the process. It was a simple article. I just said, hey guys, look, go in and make an agreement. This time that we're going in, I will pick out 3 movies and then you choose out of those 3 movies, right? So, you go in and you say, okay, what are 3 movies that I like that hopefully you're considerate of your girlfriend as well, that maybe she'll like as well. And you pick out 3, and then she just gets to pick out of those 3. And then the next time you go to the Blockbuster, she goes in, pulls out 3, and you get to pick out of the 3. I said, do that, everybody's happy, and you're more than likely to, at least you have the opportunity to pick one that you'll most like. And she gets to do the same thing. Yay! And it was just a little afterthought of an article. And I could not believe the feedback that article got. And it's continued to get hits and feedback for years after I wrote it. The article became obsolete when, as the video stores went away, they became obsolete. That article became obsolete, but it was one of the most fun ones I did. Anyway, again, went off on a rabbit trail. Sorry about that. I'm going off on wild tangents today. I don't know. I'm just in a storytelling kind of mood, I guess. All right. Let's move on here. ZOMG Ruler writes, Infinity War, decent in my opinion, missed opportunities for character moments. I'm not going to disagree with that. But I mean, we knew that going in. You cannot have a movie with 28 major significant characters. There are 28 of them. You can't go into a movie with 28 major significant characters and expect that we're going to have great character moments. There are great moments, but they're just that. They're just moments. They're surface moments. There were some really big missed opportunities that had you had a film with a few less characters, you could have taken advantage of and made a little bit more special. We'll talk more about those on the thing tomorrow. Overall, the package is still fantastic and great, yes. And so I don't think that truth, I don't think kind of took away from my enjoyment of the film, because really it's still, the bigger picture stuff is just amazing. The main character is Thanos, and Thanos is one of the most awesome characters we have ever had in a comic book movie. So I agree with you. I just think, it didn't affect the movie too much. Johnny Eppard writes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm more excited for Avengers 4 than I am for Star Wars 9. Well, that's natural. Like, for instance, if you're somebody that didn't really like Star Wars The Last Jedi, then, and you did like Avengers Infinity War, then that's totally natural. Of course you would be. Like if the last installment of franchise A was something that you loved, and the last installment of franchise B didn't really work for you, then you may still be looking forward to the next installment of B, but it's natural that you would then more be looking forward to the next installment of A. That's just natural. So yeah, I mean, I don't blame you at all. And look, I think I like Avengers Infinity War more than I like The Last Jedi. I'm still looking forward to both, and I'm still looking forward to Star Wars Episode 9 more than Avengers 4, but I mean, it's closer. My anticipation level for Episode 9 and Avengers 4 is a lot closer than, say, it was a year ago. A year ago, it's like, I'm looking forward to Episode 9 way more than Avengers 4. But now that I've seen both, now that I've seen Avengers 3 and The Last Jedi, and I prefer Infinity War over The Last Jedi, even though I like both, now it's a lot closer. So yeah, it's totally natural. There's nothing wrong with the way you're looking at it, Johnny, not at all. Aussie Boss writes, you should check out My Hero Academia. It's a superhero-themed anime on Hulu. The creator took a lot of inspiration from Western comics. I've never even heard of it, Aussie. I've never even heard of it. So thank you for sharing that. And that is something that sounds like it'd be right up my alley. I have never even heard of that. Is it any good though? I'm a little hesitant into believing it's very good because I've never heard anybody talk about it, so I don't know how good it could be. But thank you for putting it on my radar. I love Hulu, so I'm definitely going to check it out. Thanks for putting that up there. James Bonner writes, T-minus 6 hours, 23 minutes till Infinity War. I'm glad you're going to finally get a chance to see it, James. I know you're one of the guys on here who've really been looking forward to it. DJCDO1 writes, no spoilers. All I have to say is go Cap, my favorite. I mean, yeah, I mean, that moment... spoiler alert, Captain America shows up in the movie. In case you didn't notice that from the trailers, the moment Cap shows up in the movie is a great moment in the movie. Great moment in the movie. But again, no spoilers, not going to talk about anything. But yeah, I mean, Captain America is my favorite character in the MCU. He just is. So there we go. The Don just puts in a super chat. Thank you so much, Don. Okay, here we go. Terrell Amari writes, why are critics complaining about so many characters? Me personally, I didn't feel like it was overstuffed. I mean, I know going in there, there are many characters, and it was well balanced. Here's what I'll say to that. The reason there are people complaining about too many characters is because there are too many characters. There are. Was it balanced? Yes. It was balanced. I wouldn't say it wasn't balanced. It was balanced. However, for it to be balanced means everybody had to be underused. And they balanced it out perfectly. I mean, every character, one of the things I said in my reviews, every character gets their moment. Every character in this movie gets a moment to shine. But really at the end of the day, and I can't go into all my reasoning why, that's going to have to wait till the spoiler review. Was it balanced? Yes. But the cost of having that balance was that everybody gets underused. Not that nobody had good use. Everybody had their moment. Everybody had a moment to shine. But a movie is not just about getting a moment. I can't go into in depth into my rationale and my reasoning without going into spoiler territory. And obviously we're going to hold off on that till tomorrow. So I will go into that till tomorrow. But that's why you're hearing a lot of people, even critics who love this movie. I'm reading and listening to a lot of critics who love this movie, who join me in really appreciating this movie, who also agree with me that we all walked out at the same time going, great movie, but here's some of the flaws. And I think there are less egregious flaws than like the flaws that were in The Last Jedi per se. But I mean, that's why you're hearing that. Is the movie still great? Yes, the movie is still great. It is. Every movie is a recipe of like 150 different ingredients that go in. Not every ingredient is going to be the best. The question is, what does the end result being? Somebody once said to me, You can't have a bad performance in the movie and still be a great movie. Yes, you can. It all depends on how do all the other ingredients stack up. And do all the other ingredients compensate for the one weakness that was here or there? Some people say to me, you can't have a good movie if there isn't good cinematography. Yes, you can. I mean, it certainly helps the movie if you have good cinematography, but yes, you can. Some people say you can't have a good movie if you don't have great, deep character development. Yes, you can. It helps if you have it, but you can still have a great movie even if you don't have it. And that's the thing to me. It didn't become an obvious glaring chink in the armor of the movie, but to me it was still one of the weaknesses. But again, it's one of the weaknesses we expected. We expected that you were going to have a pretty thin layer of character usage considering there are 28 main characters. Understanding that, there's just no way around it. And I think the Russo brothers did as good of a job as you can do when you're trying to make a movie with 28 main characters. And I think they did as good of a job as you can. But again, we'll go more in depth into that stuff when we get to the spoiler review tomorrow. Let's see. The editing, wow. If you compare it to Batman vs. Superman, oh God. The complicated mess of plot, and it still succeeds as best as it could, in my opinion. Yeah, you're not wrong. The editing, here's the thing. With so much going on, this is a great example. With so much going on in the movie, I mentioned you can feel that. There is too much going on in the movie. But because it's so well edited, it minimizes any damage that could cause to the film. There's so much going on all over the place. If that movie isn't edited almost perfectly, it would become a major distraction to the film. However, it was edited nearly perfectly, and it really minimized the distraction and the damage that something like that could cause a film, and it totally minimized it. And that is one of the reasons why all the other great things about this movie were allowed to shine so much. And that's a good way to really put it, really, when I think about it, is that the negatives of the film are compensated for so well to minimize whatever negative effect those negative things in the movie could bring while maximizing the effect of all the amazing things in the movie. That's what a good filmmaker team will do, hence why we're all talking so highly about the Russo brothers right now. Let's see. John DeRose writes, Keegan-Michael Key also had 3 simultaneous films in theaters. Pitch Perfect 2, Vacation, and Tomorrowland. They're supporting roles, but still a feat. I guess, yes. Here's the thing, though. A couple of those weren't just supporting roles. They were tiny, borderline cameo roles, a couple of them. It's not like, say, the Josh Brolin situation that we're in right now, where we are going to have a situation where Josh Brolin in theaters all at the same time, he's going to have Infinity War, where he is the main character, Deadpool 2, where he is the main antagonist, and Sicario, where he's also going to be the main antagonist. And all 3 of those films are going to be in theater at the same time. Now, I'm sure if we really dug deep, we could find small character actors who have been in a number of films that are in theaters at the same time. But to do what Josh Brolin's about to do, where he is in the top 3 most important characters in the movie, in 3 major high-profile movies that are all going to be in the theater at the same time, That's something I can't remember. I'm sure it's happened before, but I can't remember off the top of my head when something like that has happened before. That to me is really, really interesting. Okay, let's see here. Good old Uncle Sidious writes, are you a fan of 12 Monkeys? If so, hopes for last season. Oh, 12 Monkeys, the show. No, not a fan of the show. Not an anti-fan of the show either. I've never watched the show. I've never felt compelled to watch the show. I thought you were talking about the movie for a second. The movie, yes, big fan. The show, no, not because I have anything wrong with it, but because I've never even watched a single episode. It never appealed to me. So, and again, that's not me saying anything bad about the show because I've never seen it to have a bad opinion about it. That's just my thought. Okay, got time for just like 2 more questions here. So far, or from Hans Gruber writes, so far the plot in 50% of the DCU movies have been about some kind of terraforming. Hope they pick another route for Aquaman. Your thoughts? Well, we already know what the basic plot is for Aquaman. It looks like Aquaman, what we found out at a CinemaCon, was that Aquaman goes back to Atlantis. He has to have some kind of ritual combat with his, I believe, his half-brother Orm, Ocean Master. And he loses and gets banished to the surface world. And now Orm wants to use the armies of Atlantis to take over the surface. And Aquaman's got to stop him. So it's not terraforming per se, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, the terraforming, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even think of it in those terms, but you are right. Terraforming has kind of been a central key theme to the DCU movie so far, but that's fine. I mean, I think it's worked anyway. At least, certainly for me, it worked in Man of Steel. And I think for the most part, even though the villain itself didn't quite work, I think for the most part, that plot idea for the film worked in Batman, not Batman vs. Superman, but Justice League. I think it worked in Justice League. So it really all depends on how you approach it that way. All right. And the final question today comes to us from, I'll take two more. So this one comes to us from Fraud79, who writes, Oogie Poogie Eat Some Pies can save the dark universe. That's my next shirt, by the way, that I got to meet. Oogie Poogie Eat Some Pies. Avengers 4, Oogie Poogie Eat Some Pies. But you're right. Maybe it could save. Maybe Tom Cruise will hear it. He'll catch up. He goes, that's what we need to revitalize the Mummy again. Is Oogie Poogie Eat Some Pies. Thanks for sharing that, Fraud. Okay, now the last question of the day comes to us from Habajit Maji, who writes, why comic book movies cheat audiences by showing different clips in trailers? Sorry, dude, that's a really... I should have screened that. That you can't do that, dude. You just talked about something in the movie, so... My apologies for everybody that I didn't catch that. Sorry about that. I apologize, guys. So, sorry, I cannot answer that question because that's a spoiler-related question. So I can't answer that. All right, guys, that will do it for me for today's installment of Open Mic. Listen, there are a bunch of questions that I didn't get to here. If you sent in a question, don't you worry about it. I'm going to copy and paste them. They will be in the next installment of the companion video. I was going to record the next installment of the companion video last night and put it up this morning. But I'm sorry, I decided to go see Avengers again instead. I'm sorry. I decided to go see the Avengers instead. So I will do another companion video today, and it will be up tomorrow morning before Open Mic tomorrow. So tomorrow is a big day. We got the companion video at first thing in the morning, then we got Open Mic again, and then we've got our Avengers Infinity War spoiler review at 2 p.m. Today is also a busy day because today we've got Open Mic right now, but at 2 o'clock p.m. today, Pacific Standard Time, we've got Star Wars Talk. Now, normally Star Wars Talk is on Sunday, but because so many of you guys asked me to move the spoiler discussion to Sunday from Saturday, I just decided to swap places with Star Wars Talk. So this week only, Star Wars Talk will be today on Saturday. Star Wars Talk will go back to its regular schedule next week on Sunday. All right, guys, that will do it for me for today's installment of Open Mic. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's John Campea, and until Star Wars Talk a little bit later today, bye-bye.